On Wednesday, we will know how much inflation went up in August. And tomorrow, on Tuesday, we will know what products Apple are about to release. The famous Apple Day is tomorrow. And Apple been hammered a little bit, so maybe this will be the week for Apple. You're listening to the StockInvest.us podcast, Trading Tips with Jim. And today I have a sore throat, a headache, it's flu season. So we are in for a shorter podcast than normal. But it's week 37 we are heading into. Last week I told you I thought it would be a red week, and it became a red week. Nasdaq down almost 2%, 1.92% down for Nasdaq last week, 13,762 points. Dow Jones did a little bit better, but also Dow Jones fell last week to 0.75%. That was down 261 points for Dow, ending the week at 34,577 points. And the question is, what will this week be like? And I had a quick look at the charts, of course, before starting the podcast. And I'm sorry to say, it doesn't look very good. Things are playing out exactly like I thought they would many weeks ago, where I told you. Now we will have an upturn. I predicted green weeks. We had the 2 green weeks, the red week last week. Nasdaq turning around for just above 14,000, so things are playing out as it was supposed to. But looking at the charts, many charts have big downside. Doesn't mean all of them, but for the main part, many stocks still have a huge downside, and everything is indicating that they should continue downwards. But stock market is stock market. It might be very good consumer price index numbers on Wednesday that can lift everything up. We will dwell a few more minutes on these topics. Look at the buy and sell signals. As you know, these are quite accurate, telling how market would move moving forward. And I'm very happy I got a few messages from maybe you were a new listener, but saying that it was really great learning experience listening to this podcast, and that I am very happy about. That is the full idea of the podcast, trying to help you increase your gains, reduce your losses. And one of the ways we do this is, of course, stop loss, which we've been speaking about over and over again. But another thing is trying to figure out, how will the week be like? How will the month be like? What is the period we are into? Is it a good time for investment, or is it less good? Because if buy signals are high and you can expect market to fall, you shouldn't fully invest. And you heard me say over and over again, I think we are in a turbulent market. I would go for oil, gold and war. These should be pretty stable. And last week, oil had yet another strong week. Oil is up at $87, and I don't think it will stop. Oil should fluctuate a little bit because on Wednesday, as I said, there will be consumer price index numbers for August. This is a number everyone watches because if inflation is too high, we know that Fed will increase interest rates. The expected inflation on Wednesday is up 0.6 from July, meaning that the prices increased 0.6 from July, and that the 12 months prices increased by 3.6%. But remember, 1 year back it was much higher. It was 6, 7, 8% 12 months over 12 months, getting down to 3.6, but it's far from the 2% target of Fed. And I warned you when everyone said inflation is going over, we are finished with this. Inflation is not going away. The high energy prices, and you heard me say oil is at $87 as we speak, and other energy sources are also increasing in prices. This will push inflation higher, and I expect maybe there could be a little surprise for the Wednesday number. So I'm not sure if Wednesday is a day I would sit fully invested in. Because when the news will come, market should move, of course, if the numbers are very good, or according to expectation, there is a chance that the market will behave somewhat okay. But if inflation comes in higher, let's say it ticks in 0.8% from July to August, we can have a huge fall in the market. Looking at the stocks, I see the tendency. There are places where huge falls can take place. So Wednesday, I wouldn't bet on it, but we will have to see. Thursday, work numbers will come, and I would follow work numbers close, because they give an idea where we are headed in the future. Friday there will be import price numbers, and these are very interesting because behind the scene there is a lot of conflicts with China. Biden tried to repair some of it, but they are continuing to escalating as we move forward, almost day by day. These things are escalating. There are small sanctions here and there. And all of these, along with other things, we have BRICS, which I mentioned many times before. BRICS is growing very, very fast. West and East is dividing at a super speed, and these things are slowly, bit by bit, putting differences, arguments, and distance between the East and the West. And when we know that goods are mainly coming from the East to the West, that's how it's been purchased for years, decades actually. That's how we've been growing our wealth, buying cheap from Asia and China. These things are slightly turning, meaning that their prices are going up, and we will see on Friday import numbers. And if you're very interested, I think these can be interesting to watch. It's one of these long-term things. As I told you over and over again, I see huge problems as we move forward. And in this market, we will try to make money. Oil, gold, and war are the three items I've been preaching about for a long time as a safe haven in case things go wrong. And oil, as I said, had very good last week, and oil stocks are pushing upwards. And in the $1,000 challenge that we'll get to by the end of the podcast, you'll hear that it's an energy company I will be focusing a little bit about. Gold fell a little last week, down $14 to $1,950, but this is mainly due to the dollar getting a little stronger during the week. And I expect gold prices to continue upwards. Some ask, so should I invest into gold stocks? Where should I invest? Yes, you can invest into gold stocks, but gold stocks will fluctuate more than the market. You can buy into actual gold if you want, like I have bought into physical gold. Or you can buy into derivatives covering gold, etc. Then there is the 10-year treasury yield. As I said, when this moves up, market usually go down, and last week it went up by 2% at 4.26, still creeping upwards. And over and over again, when I read the news, I always see that now it will go down, but I don't think. I think the 10-year treasury yield and the interest rates will continue to push upwards. Wednesday, as I said, consumer price index numbers. This will argue a little bit for Fed, so that's where people would put a lot of attention. But despite these numbers, if they come in low, yes, it might be that Fed will not raise interest rates this week, but I cannot see how Fed can avoid to keep increasing interest rates for some more time as we move forward. Trying to conclude, will it be a red or a green week? I gave you a little background now. I told you that looking at the charts, most of them are showing downward trends. They went up as they should. As you remember, I said that the stocks, the index were at the bottom of the trend. You expect things to go up. The thing is, when things usually turn, they go to the middle of the trend, and then you will know, do they have enough momentum to keep pushing upwards to the top of the trend, remain in the trend, or will they stop in the middle of the trend? Nasdaq stopped exactly where it should stop, at the middle of the trend, but the development later is not the kind of development that shows that it should push upwards. Actually, there is a higher chance, if you look at the chart, that it will again push more downwards before hitting up. So I would say, from a technical point of view, the charts, the things that I saw, the news during the week, etc., the fundamental news during the week, there is a slight chance that the week will end red. I don't see any very strong reason why it should go green. But let's look at the buy and sell signals, because these are one of the best tools you can use. You find it at stockinvest.us. Go to main page, you will see the number of total buy and sell signals. If you go to the market in the menu, Nasdaq, New York Stock Exchange, whatever exchange you are trading, you will see a small P chart showing the amount of buy, sell and hold candidates. And in United, across all the tickers that we analyze, they were 35% last week. I told you that is way high. We should have a fall, and based much of my argument why I thought it would be a red week on that. Well, markets fell, as you know, and it did not only US. It fell more or less all over Europe as well. Total amount of buy signals is now 29%, so it's down from 35 to 29. That is still high, but somewhat okay. Going to Nasdaq, Nasdaq was 25% last week, but due to many of the stocks falling on Nasdaqs, and especially the big ones, it's down to 17. 17 starts to be interesting. So that argues a little bit for, as you know, we can easily go down to 14 or less. But that argues for a possibility building up. So here I have to choose. From my experience, I would say that when things are as low as 17, they can fall even faster. And I think that might be the case, that we will have a red week on Nasdaq, or at least some red days. Could be, of course, be green today. I saw the futures were green so far. But that we will have some red days, and that will maybe even in this week could the buying opportunity starts to pop up very fast. Could be around Wednesday, I don't know, or the full week will be red, and the next following week will open for good opportunities. So for Nasdaq isolated, speaking about Nasdaq isolated, I think we are building up some good opportunities. And following back to the previous podcast, I told you that I don't believe so much in the big gainers right now, the big stocks, the heavy lifters. I thought that we would see the middle and the low end move a bit better. It's the time for penny stocks and all that sort of things. Stocks that haven't moved in the upturn could have some room now, as people are frantically trying to find good buying opportunities. I think that still will remain. There will be good choices at Nasdaq, and if we get into a certain fall, stocks like Tesla should find a bottom and signaling a good upside. When these things turn, there will be 5-10 easy % in most stocks, in my opinion. Going to New York Stock Exchange, down from 33 to 21. 21 is still a little bit high. So New York Stock Exchange can fall a little bit more. Going to Tokyo, all the way over to Asia, it was 48 last week. 48% of all stocks in Tokyo Stock Exchange had buy signals. Fell a little bit, now down to 43, still remain high, while Chess in China fell from 31 to 23. So all over, all the buy signals fell, and you may ask, is that good or bad? And the buying opportunities, the investment opportunities are usually when the buy signals are low. It is not like when buy signals are very high, that is a buying opportunity. Yes, we can have these very strong moves in relative strength index when stocks are overbought, etc. But in general, you want to buy when everyone is selling, and you want to sell when everyone is buying. That is usually how the pros do it and how they make money. Yeah, you may lose a little at the top if you sell too early, or you may lose a little if you buy too early, but in general it's a much better strategy than jumping on when things are moving way too fast, because usually there will be a correction. Concluding this part, I cannot say day for day how things will move. My gut feeling says that we are in for a red week. I think there can be a rapid movement. I think it will be a volatile week. It might be a very good week if you're a trader and you are able to trade on the swings, because I see good reasons for higher volatility typically is when we get into these kind of levels. So we can easily have a day where markets open very red, starts down 2%, then goes 1% in plus, and you will have huge gains in different stocks during the day. I think especially Wednesday will be a day to follow. Actually, the end of the week. Monday and Tuesday look somewhat okay. Tomorrow is Apple, and it might just be a good opportunity to go into Apple. And as my headache is increasing and my throat is getting dry, we will end the podcast with the $1,000 challenge. As you know, we did into Hawaiian Electric, and now it is time to find a new stock. And I was checking many stocks this morning, trying to figure out which one I think can bear some fruits. And you know, in this challenge I told you that what I want to do is take those who has been hammered very hard, prices falling very fast. We see a huge increase in volume at the end. That's what we call a typical sell-off, and based on this we try to do the rebounds 1/3 or 2/3 of the fall upturn. That was how we picked, for instance, Hawaiian Electric. Got in a little bit too early in Hawaiian, but after just a week or something, it started to do exactly what it should. Sometimes it's based on how you see the markets. And I told you, I'm not sure about how this market will move this week. So I thought, well, maybe for the week I will look at a little bit different strategy. Go with stocks that already are running, trying to be safe, and still have a huge potential upside. And for the upside, there's usually two things I look at. I look at how much the resistance is above. Has there been trades above? Where are they? It's called accumulated volume. And going to stockinvest.us, you will find the charts and you will see some gray bars on the right hand side. These are accumulated volume. If these are very heavy above current price, it means there's a lot of resistance. While if there is none, it means that the stock is free to move. And I told you I believe very much in energy, and today's pick, which I will try to get into, is Tetra Technologies Inc. TTI, Tetra Technology Inc. It's been on a strong upturn, just pushing upwards. It works in energy oil sector. I think it should be somewhat okay. It's not a big company, has 1,300 employees, is in Texas, etc. But I think there is still an upside. Everything looks like it will continue to go up. And if you check out the chart, you will see that when it was overbought, it just pushed up. So there's a strong momentum in the stock in general. So maybe this can be a small safe stock yielding in some percentages this week as we try to figure out what will be the next. And I think this week will tell a huge tale. So if I'm lucky, we'll be able to do at least hold somewhat good, even make some money. And if everything is very well according to plan, big opportunities might open next week. And then we can get back to a bit more aggressive strategy. Now that made for 20 minutes of podcast, and I think it's time to wrap it up. I hope, as usual, that you will have a super week, that you will put more greens into your bank than when you started the week. And hopefully I'll see you back in just a week. Next week I will speak a little bit more about Shark Trader, the auto trading boot which I am making. It's doing the job. You'll find it at getagraph.com, where it is playing its own life. The development been a little bit slow lately, but it's been summer, been a lot of visits, been very busy with different things, but again, we put a little focus on creating the perfect trading boot. Until next week, remember to enjoy the last part of summer if you are in that kind of hemisphere. Enjoy the last few days as we are heading into the fall, and plenty of trading opportunities coming in. See you in a week. Bye.